Hope is a very powerful thing. It's a very powerful emotion. But when one loses hope, that sense of hopelessness is overpowering. It's debilitating. Because if a person has nothing to hope for, nothing to believe in, nothing to look forward to, if they don't care anything about dying, they care nothing about living. A laboratory experiment was done on some mice, and some mice was put in a control group, and another set of mice were put in the experimental group. And the mice in the experimental group were put in a bucket of water and left there. And it was not long before all of them had drowned. But in the other bucket of water, every hour they would take the mice out and then put them back in. They would take them out and put them back in. And the mice lived for days because they kept swimming. Because in their mice thinking, somebody eventually would take them out. And so, hoping to be removed from the water, they just kept swimming. Because hope, even in mice, is a powerful emotion. We believers have hope that whatever happens in our lives, whatever goes on in the course of a day, our hope is that tomorrow is going to be a brighter day. And if we're still in it tomorrow, next week will be better. If we're still in it next week, next month will be better. And if the month is still going bad, well, maybe this is just not my year. Next year is going to be better. We just keep on hoping, keep on trusting, keep on believing, because without that, the scripture says, if in this life only we have hope, we are among all men most miserable. In this text this morning, in this final sign of Jesus as the Messiah, as the miraculous Son of God, one whom he loves is sick. Lazarus, who is the brother of Mary and Martha and Lazarus, in their home in Bethany, Jesus is almost a regular presence. He visits that home often because of their warm hospitality. Martha, who is perhaps the oldest of the siblings, is always in the kitchen preparing, while Mary is at the feet of Jesus listening. Martha, on one occasion, you remember, says to Jesus, "Tell my sister to come in here and help me." And Jesus said to her, "Martha, you are troubled about many things. Mary has chosen the good part, and I will not take it from her." Lazarus is chronically ill. Mary and Martha are taking care of him. He's not able to work. He's unable to take care of himself. So these two strong women are looking after their ailing brother. And one day, Lazarus is so sick that Jesus is away, and Martha sends word to Jesus that the one that you love is sick. You need to come and see about Lazarus. Jesus gets the word that Lazarus is sick, and he says to his disciples that Lazarus is sick, and they said to him, let's go to Lazarus. And Jesus delays 4 days. 4 days he delays coming to where Lazarus is. He delays going to where his sick friend is lying at the point of death. And then Jesus tells his disciples plainly, Lazarus is dead. Lazarus is sleeping. And they said, if he's sleeping, we ought to leave him alone. Jesus said, this death is that the glory of God might be revealed. Now, brothers and sisters, Jesus could have healed Lazarus miles away from where he was, because that's what he did with the nobleman's son. That nobleman came to Jesus and said, my boy is sick. And Jesus just spoke the word. And when the man got home, the boy had recovered. He asked his servants, what time did he start feeling better? They said about 1 o'clock this afternoon. And he remembered that was the time Jesus spoke the word. So Jesus could have spoken the word right where he was, but he delayed that the glory of God might be revealed. Mary and Martha had some problems. Their problem was that their brother was sick unto death. And the answer to their problem was 25 miles away. And Jesus delays coming. And I want to say to us, Lily Grove, in the midst of your problems, in the midst of your situation, in the midst of your circumstance, never separate his delays from his decisions. Because there is a purpose in his delay. That there is a developmental purpose in his delay. You would not be the strong man or woman of God you are this morning if God had given you everything you wanted when you asked him. Because there are some things you are not ready for at some points in your life. And if you get to blessing before you get to maturity, you'll mess up everything God is trying to do in your life. I'm guilty of it. Perhaps many of you are guilty of it, of giving our children too much too soon. And whenever freedom is not connected to responsibility, you're raising a fool. And it will not be long before it comes back to haunt you. Because if we raise them without responsibilities and without knowing what it takes to have all the things that we are providing, it will cause some problems in their lives, because delayed gratification is always the best gratification. You don't need it all right now. You can't understand it all right now. You can't grasp it all right now. God's delays are always tied to God's decisions. Listen, I've said this to us over and over and over, and I think I need to say it again. Sin in its essence is creature saying to creator, I know you know what's best for me, but I want to do what I want to do. That's sin in its essence. But judgment is God saying, go right ahead. You want to do what you want to do? Go right ahead. God will not stop you from running headlong into what you want to do, because God knows how to correct mistakes, but he punishes rebellion. And when we rebel against God in our obstinance and in our stubbornness, saying, God, I want this, God, I need this, God, I got to have, that's the fallacy of this health and wealth preaching. That's the mistake of this prosperity gospel. That because you love God, he's supposed to give you whatever you want. And you just tell God what you need, and God will show up and just do whatever you need him to do. God is no cosmic bellhop. God is not your private secretary. God is not a divine vending machine where you just drop in a prayer and out pops a blessing. No, some things in life you just got to wait on. And it may never come, but you still got to praise God even if you never get what you ask for. Because if you don't have it, it must be a sign that God knows you don't need it. Because it is God's desire not to make you happy, but to make you holy. And your holiness does not depend on your happiness. Because what makes you happy may not make you holy. A good bottle of scotch will make you happy. But it'll mess up your holiness. Talk back to me if you can. God knows what's best for us. And what was best for Mary and Martha and his disciples was for Jesus to delay. His delays are always connected to his decisions. He decided to wait until Lazarus was dead. That's going to make sense to us in a minute. Jesus tells his disciples that Lazarus is dead and they are on their way to where Mary and Martha are, and Jesus starts on the way, and when he gets to where they are, Martha comes out first, I'm sure, because Martha is the oldest of the three, and Martha is the sternest, most serious of the group, and Martha doesn't have time to play. Martha is serious-minded. Martha is in charge, she thinks. If you're the oldest in your family, raise your hand right now. Let me see your hand if you're the oldest in your family. Raise it high. I want to see you. I want to see you. I want to tell you something. If you're the oldest in your family, your brothers and sisters can't stand you. Because you think you know everything. You're bossy. It's got to go your way. Talk back to me if you can. You think you're the smartest. You think you're the bravest. You think you're the most intelligent. You think they ought to listen to you because you're running it because you're the oldest. You have a Martha complex. Martha said, Lord, thank you for coming. Glad you finally made it. It's about time. Called you 4 days ago. Been eating up all my food. Sitting down in my house. I've welcomed you. I've done everything you've asked me to do. I told you Lazarus was sick. I sent a messenger to tell you that the one you love is sick. He's dead and you just showing up. Thank you for coming. But if you had been here when I called you, my brother would not have died. In our problems, his delays are connected to his decisions. But in his promises, hear me, brothers and sisters, in his promises, his ways are connected to his wisdom. Delays are always connected to decisions. Ways are always connected to wisdom. God's ways are not our way. We used to have a deacon here named Bobby Wesley. Bobby Wesley said, God's thoughts are not our thoughts. He never could say thoughts. He said thoughts. That goes right there. God's thoughts are not our thoughts. I don't care what you think God ought to do. God's ways are not our ways. God's decisions are not our decisions. God's wisdom is as high as the heavens above ours. As far as the east is from the west, that's how far God's wisdom is from ours. Listen, you ought to think that somebody who runs the universe knows more than you. Somebody who has the world in his hands got more sense than you. Because listen, you and I see time in past, present, and future. God sees time in one span. He sees the end from the beginning and the beginning from the end, and he never loses his place. Because God is omniscient. He knows the beginning to the end before it even takes place. He knows your thoughts before you think them. Nothing will ever happen in your life that will surprise God. Because nothing ever has to occur to God. God never has to think about anything. God never has to reason over how he's going to solve your dilemma. While you're trying to figure it out, while you're scratching your head, while you are up at night, God has already solved your dilemma. He's already lived in your tomorrow. He's already gone before you to see the future before you get to it. Before you even get out of bed, God has already ordered your steps. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Every footstep I make, God is right before me, making sure that I don't step in the trap you set for me. He leads me around the stuff that I could have gotten myself into. And then when I go headlong trying to do what it is that I want to do, God has already given me some specific instructions, but I do it anyway. But he's right there to rescue me from danger. Because his ways are never apart from his wisdom. When he gets there, the professional mourners are there. They are weeping and wailing and carrying on. And Jesus said to Martha, you're going to see your brother again. And Martha, who is still kind of warm with Jesus because he's delayed, Martha said, now, I know that. You ain't got to tell me that. I know that. I know I'm going to see him again in the resurrection at the last day. I know that's going to take place. And Jesus stops a moment to correct her theology. Jesus says, Martha, I am. Watch this. I am is the resurrection. Y'all missed that one. I am is the resurrection. I am is the way. I am is the truth. I am is the life. When Jesus says I am, he's using his covenant name. He's making himself equal with God, because only God can say I am. It goes all the way back to Moses. When God tells Moses to go tell Pharaoh to let my people go, and Moses said, if I go, they're going to ask who sent me. God says, tell them I am that I am. Use my name. I am that I am. That name still opens doors. That name still opens Red Seas. That name still cools fiery furnaces. That name still tames lions in a den. That name still shakes foundations of a Philippian jail. That name still opens doors in your life so that whenever you get to an impenetrable problem, just use that name. That's the name that's above every name, that when that name is called, problems vanish. Situations lay down. Storms have to calm down. Wind ceases to blow because there's power in that name. I am the resurrection. You're looking at what you're looking for. You're talking to what you're talking about. You're standing with what you're standing on. And when God is with you. It does not matter what the death, it does not matter what the dearth, it does not matter what the dilemma, it does not matter what the depression. If God is with you, you cannot separate his ways from his wisdom. I've been asked on numerous occasions, why or how can you stand up under what you've been able to stand up under? How is it, Pastor? Just give me, one of my members from home said, I need your strength. I need your secret. I need you to tell me how you're able to keep going. You just went through cancer, divorce. Your sister dropped dead. Your brother died some 39, 40 days later. I'm struggling. I need you, Pastor, to tell me how you handle that. And my answer came from Isaiah chapter 40. It just popped in my head. Hast thou not known? Hast thou not heard that the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth, he faints not, neither is he weary. Even the youth shall faint and grow weary, and young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait, have I got a witness? Upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not get weary. They shall walk and not, if you trust God, his ways are past finding out, but his ways are always connected to his wisdom. When it comes to problems, his delays are not apart from his decisions. When it comes to promises, his ways are not apart from his wisdom. But finally, when it comes to power, his hand is never separate from his heart. Because wherever you see God's hand, you can trust God's heart. Lazarus is dead. And Mary and Martha said, Lord, if you had been here, oh, if you had just made it in time, my brother would still be alive. Jesus said, where? Show me. Where is he? Martha said, now, Lord, now listen. She's still kind of hot. She said, he's been dead 4 days. He's stinking now. Jesus said, roll the stone away. And when they rolled the stone away, Jesus says, Lazarus, come forth. And Lazarus comes forth in his grave clothes. He can't shout yet because he's mummified. He's wrapped up in his grave clothes. Jesus said, loose him. Take all that stuff off him. Let him go. And Lazarus starts to give God glory, because it's only when you come out of your stuff and take off what had you bound that you learn to give God the glory. Satan had me bound. I wish I had a witness here. Sin had me all wrapped up. My problems had me about to lose my mind. But Jesus said, loose him. Let him go. That's why I holler so much, because I'm not tied up so much. That's why I give God glory so much, because I'm not wrapped up in all of this stuff so much. Some folk would rather have houses and land. Some folk choose silver and gold. things they treasure, forget about their soul. But I've decided to make Jesus my choice. Oh, brothers and sisters, I'm not going to fool you. The road is rough. The going gets tough. And the hills are hard to climb. But I started out a long time ago, and there is no doubt. I wish I had a witness. There's no doubt in my mind. I've decided to make Jesus my choice. His delays are always connected to his decisions. His ways are never apart from his wisdom. But whenever you see his hand, you can always see his heart. Because when Lazarus comes forth, the shout is really in chapter 12. In chapter 12, Mary and Martha again have thrown a supper to honor Jesus for raising Lazarus. And the Bible says people come to the banquet not just to see Jesus, but to see Lazarus, who he raised from the dead. And somebody that you used to run with, somebody you used to drink with, somebody you used to smoke with, needs to see what a changed life looks like. And they'll come to this church not just to see Jesus, but to see somebody that Jesus raised from the dead.